What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Angela, for another episode of the Come and Talk to Me show. Today, we have the Wonder Woman, Miss Jill, here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. I was going to say I haven't seen you in a year, but we did do one socially distance picnic. We followed the rules. We were listening. We followed the rules.
We were on separate blankets.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was hard, but it was good.
It was good.
Like our first interaction or whatever. So, Jill, you have all the monikers. You have woman.
Yes.
Always first.
Right.
Wife, mom, attorney, travel blogger, entrepreneur, activist, philanthropist. So I was just thinking about like the project you had to raise meals for essential workers in hospitals for lunch and dinner, and like you do your stuff. Like even when you do your traveling, you make sure you do some sort of social work and community participation, even when you're traveling abroad.
Yeah, I tried. I never considered myself, a philanthropist. Even though I mean, I would love to get to some level where I'm like, oh yes, philanthropist, that's me. But I don't consider myself there yet.
Yeah.
But I do. I guess I just look at it as like giving back or service oriented or something like that. But
you also instill this in your children, which I think is really great, and I know that you have them on your trips and they participate when you give back. And do you do it locally also?
You know what, I haven't done as much locally. Outside of just things that I'm in a couple of organizations, and so through those I might have service projects or something. But the thing with the hospitals and the essential workers, that was probably like the bigger thing that I've done, the biggest thing that I've done. And then I'm working on something now to donate menstrual products for girls who, have a hard time getting them. And when I was in South Africa, that was the first time that I heard, and I know I was late, but the first time that I heard that there were girls who didn't go to school for days because they couldn't afford pads or tampons or whatever. So we had visited this orphanage, and they were telling us that a big part of their outreach is providing those products so that these girls aren't just sitting home missing school for, however many days a month. And that it just really hit me. And then, I thought about it as it relates to there, but then here, obviously right here at home, there are girls who, don't want to be embarrassed or don't have the products they need. And so
I wanted you here because I wanted to talk about our favorite topic, and I think I'm gonna I told you I'm gonna call this episode I'm Rooting for Everything Black. I want to talk about all the things black, because you and I will get on these kicks and we will talk for hours about anything black related. And so that's what I want to talk about. Black business.
Okay.
What has been your experience with black business? Well, I'm going to make a moment.
And I have to say, if we're going to talk about black business, we need to start with you, because nobody I know supports black businesses like you. Angela you will be like, here's a black plumbing company. Black, you want ribs? Here's a black company. You want smoothies? Here's a black. I mean, I know so many of the places that are black owned through you.
Oh,
and
really?
You posting and reposting and sharing lists, or here's the top, especially through, during this time with George Floyd and everybody suddenly jumping on the whole black bandwagon. And then the need to support black businesses has been really highlighted. And so I know you had shared a few lists before. I think even in the LA Times there were some, but you shared them like on Instagram. And so that's like, what makes you just really want to bring it to the forefront for other people?
I love everything black. And I just think that sometimes when we think black business, we automatically either think like restaurants or clothes.
Right.
And there's so much more that we're capable of and more that we do. And so that's why I try to push, I think it's important. I try to surround us, like my family, with as much black business and other Black people as possible, to just try to recirculate those Black dollars, build the Black community as much as we can. And, you know, I might not be successful in like 100%, but I'll try to find, you know, something first. Like our gardener is Black, our handyman is Black, the guy that does my taxes is Black. Like, you know, can we find somebody Black to fix our car? Like, can we find somebody Black? Our contractor is Black. So, like, you know, update our house. And then also, I like to eat. We, you know, so I'm also support, like, all these different types of Black businesses that are out there, and, you know, Black clothing lines, if I can find them, because that's one of the reasons, you know, when you learn the list of all the things that are plaguing our community, one is just like the lack of circulation of Black dollars, you know? Oh, my dentist is Black. I went and hunted, like, I was so adamant about finding a Black pediatrician, you know, for my daughter, and I found a Black pediatrician who I love, like Dr. Kyle Monk. She's like, you know, and I love, like, because even with her, so we go to these appointments and she talks to me, you know, like, we have cultural things that we do. She knows them, she gets them, and, you know, so she's like, don't you be putting no cereal in her bottle at 2 months, you know, because that's what we do, you know, like, and so to be able to, like, talk to someone that can relate. I love how, like, Black people talk to each other, you know what I mean, like, it's just a different type of way, like that we vibe, and so, like, to be able to have that comfort level, and then I want to share with people, like, I'm still learning and researching, so that's why I post it, because you know, everybody's still learning as more information becomes available to us. So I just try to post it all the time. And I do have people hitting me up. It's so funny. Like, I had someone hit me up the other day. It was like, do you know a Black sunscreen? And I was like, oh, yes, I do. You know, like, I just found one because I was thinking, I need sunscreen. First, let me research Black. Like, my face wash is from a Black-owned company. Like, I just really try to support as I can, and I've been really satisfied with the results that I've gotten. You know what I mean? Like, more often than not, I am very pleased with all the services that I get from Black-owned companies.
We had talked about how, like, you know, people will have one bad experience at a Black restaurant and be like, oh, that's why I don't go there, you know. Whereas if you go to Cheesecake Factory and you have one bad experience, is that it for Cheesecake Factory, or do you continue to go there? So it's also about people just kind of learning to give us the benefit of the doubt. Mostly ourselves, you know, each other.
Why do you think there is, like, I feel like there's a different expectation when you enter into, like, a Black business? Like, there's some different, I think that's why sometimes I'm more pleased, right? Because I don't treat it like you owe me a favor. I feel like that's what it is. I feel like sometimes people are like, you owe me a favor for supporting your business. You know what I mean? Whereas a business is a give and take. You have a product, I have money I want to buy, or a need to buy this product, but I feel like there's some sort of, you know, I should be treated this way when it's just a business, like any other business. Why do we feel that way?
I don't know. I really have no idea. I don't know. I have no clue. I mean, it's like we expect a Black business to go above and beyond our expectations for any other type of business. It's like you hear people talk about going to an Asian-owned beauty supply store and talk about all kinds of things that they do or don't do, or you don't like, or they watch me, they do this, but you continue to shop there. But then you go to a Black-owned beauty supply store and one thing goes left and it's like, see, that's why I don't support blah, 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 blah. So I don't know why we're like that, some of us, but I do think that we just have to give each other grace and understand that our support starts with us. You know, it starts with each other. And before we expect other people to patronize our businesses, we need to patronize each other and just be willing to do what we can. And that might mean some things fall short here and there, but it's like, just keep, you know, trying. And it might mean that, you know, this particular business is not the one for you, but guess what, there's a whole
and it's okay that a particular business is not, you know, the one for you, but I just don't like the narrative of, I had this, you know, experience that it didn't go as positively as I would have liked. So I'm going to make a post on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'm just going to bash Black business,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Whereas either, you know, if you feel inclined, bash this specific Black business if
Right.
that's what you felt like happens, or, you know, like you said, give it a little bit of grace, you know,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of times we have to understand we're also really first generation business owners, you know.
Really.
A lot of other nationalities have a little bit of you know, I was raised in my father's restaurant,
right,
or my father's corporation, and you know, a lot, we don't have that. We are starting a lot of these things, so there are some things that we have to learn. And there is a difference between being a customer and being a business, because maybe some things we like as a customer don't really work for the bottom line of a business, right? So we might not understand really why some rules are in place, you know. I had a situation one time, I saw someone post, you know, this place is really horrible. Their return policy didn't let me return it. How dare they? That's their return policy. So if you don't like their return policy, that's fine. Don't support this business. But why are you blasting a business because they don't have a return policy that you like? That's not a bad thing.
Right.
It just doesn't fit into what you're trying to do. And it's okay. You know, I think we need to realize some things are just okay, and we don't have to
broadcast it.
Yeah.
I'm personally not about to go bash a Black business, period. I mean, anywhere, in public type of way, public space, you know, social media, online. Like, I'm not doing that. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I mean, I'm not big on bashing stuff like that.
In general,
anyway. Yeah, that's not my thing. I think some people really thrive off of that, though. But, you know, like, even, I don't know, I could see like try a Black business, or sometimes even like a Black movie or whatever. But I mean, I think you can give your opinion, but I'm not about to just be like, oh, it was just horrible, you know. I'm not doing all that. I mean, you know, somebody Black wrote this, produced it, directed it, and that took a lot. I mean, it took a lot for anybody, but for someone Black to do it, it really took a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm just not about to bash it. That's just how I feel about it. What was Keyshawn Johnson's?
Oh, what was his restaurant?
Rain? No.
Rain.
Oh, it was.
It was Rain. With the macaroni and cheese and greens.
Oh my God.
It was like, why are we paying $25?
I mean, why?
But I did.
Because we could get it much less.
but
this is especially good, and the ambiance.
But let's talk about that and the hesitation that people have with Black businesses being in upper tiered price points.
I hate it. I hate people having a problem.
Yeah, I know, but
oh, okay, yeah. I'm like all aggressive.
Yeah,
Let me explain.
I know what you mean.
I hate it. I mean, let people, you know, you have to get a business off the ground. You have to set your prices. And what I have a problem with is people who will come to a Black business and have a problem paying, you know, high-end prices, but have no problem driving wherever, some other neighborhood, and paying higher prices.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're going to support a Black business, support a Black business.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you go somewhere and you don't feel like the price is justified for what you receive, then okay, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, have an open mind. People want, it's like, what do you want? Somebody to open their restaurant out of their garage and be selling you plates of food, so you can then complain that they opened a restaurant out of their garage and sold you plates of food. So I don't know, it gets on my nerves.
Yeah, it's sometimes like I read, you know, I'm always traveling around social media, and I read these comments like, I mean, it's just a t-shirt, but I'm like, but you buy, I better not see you in a t-shirt that's not out of the swap meet or Target.
Right.
To be honest with you, because any t-shirt you're buying above that price point, you're being, you know, and you're literally paying for the label. Like, I've obviously, you know, my profession for many years was making clothes in the fashion industry. Like, I know how much we pay to make this stuff, and then how much we mark it up, and, you know, all of that, and it's okay. Like, again, if you don't want to buy at this price point, it's okay. You do not have to buy at this price point.
Right.
I just don't understand the bad mouthing of people that want a business at that price point. The assumption that all Black businesses are supposed to be, you know,
bargain
shopping. Like, we can have extravagant things. We can be as glorious and beautiful and as expensive as we want to be. And it's okay.
Grand people. Like, we like grand things.
Yes.
And, you know, flashy things and nice things, and you have to pay for that.
Right.
But I think people are embracing it more now.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, you hear it still, but I just think we're kind of getting to a better space of people embracing Black business in different capacities.
Let's start with, I know that you went to a HBCU.
Mm-hmm. I went to Hampton.
What made you decide on an HBCU? Did you always want to go to one, or what was that thought about?
When I was like in middle school, my mom started kind of like taking me to, we would travel, and in the summer she and I would travel, and we started going to like cities, and they happened to have Black colleges. I don't know if for her that was more by design or something, but for instance, we went to Atlanta, and then we went to Spelman and Clark and Morehouse, and we went to DC, and we went to Howard, and just other little trips like that. Some close. I grew up in St. Louis, so even like in Lincoln University, I can't remember exactly where that is, but that's nearby, and so we went there once too. But she kind of laid that foundation. Mm-hmm. And so when it was time for me to pick a college, when I was like a sophomore, we did a more extensive like actual college tour thing. And that was really interesting. And when I went to Hampton's campus, I was like, oh, this is where I want to go.
Nice.
So, now, I did go to Hampton for 3 years, but I did transfer, and I ended up I did my senior year at Temple in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. So I graduated from Temple. But I always say, like, I came into who I am at Hampton.
Yeah.
And some of my closest friends are from Hampton, and, I think I became a woman, mentally at Hampton. That really shaped me and grew me into like who I am now. Or.
Yeah. Okay. It's so funny. I just have to say this. So when you say like my closest friends, obviously that's how we met, through one of your close friends, who's one of my close friends, Val. And I was going to talk to you about Val, but even with you just saying that right there and this little hint of mimosa, I got a feeling in my stomach. So I cannot.
And I got something going on right now when you said that.
I was like, so I can't go there because I don't want to ugly cry on campus. But, Val, we miss you and love you and think about you every day.
Yeah.
And I remember, so I went to these like college prep classes from a guy named Dr. Cliff Brazil, who actually recently just passed.
Okay.
But he was really great at discussing the way that the educational program is kind of set up against us, So he's like basically like, I was on honor roll. I was a cheerleader. I was in leadership. I had a job. And my counselor at school is like talking to me about junior college. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in his classes, so you would go to his class every week, and he would be like, this is what they're going to tell you that you should be doing, because that is literally like how the system is set up, against us. And so he supplied fee waivers. Wow. He worked with everyone on their essays, to help them get into college. Helped everyone fill out, sometimes that paperwork is complicated or it's tricky. They're trying to like trick you and stuff. He was really like, he would have one-on-one appointments. He had like the weekly classes. He made you apply to, say if your GPA or your SAT scores said that you should only be at this level, you had to apply to at least 3 colleges, because he's like, let me surprise you. Like, let me show you what you could do. And he was just really about like expanding your mind, because we feel limited at times, especially when we grow up, and a lot of us, don't have money and don't have means and don't have, our parents might not have went to college, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the things that he also was like, these Black colleges ain't got no money for financial aid. The out-of-state fees for like someone coming from California. We don't have any HBCUs out here. And they are late on admissions. So I wanted to go to Grambling. I applied to Grambling. I got my acceptance to Grambling while I was at Summer Bridge at San Diego State. Like, how you gonna tell me in July that I'm supposed to move to Louisiana in August, But I've always wondered what different experience I would have had if I would have went to a Black college. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as opposed to the predominantly white college that I went to, where, out of 30,000 students, us 30 Black kids, I think there's maybe 300. So, but you know what I mean?
I was seeing a lot of things online recently where people were just saying, like, if you ever thought that you couldn't get a quality education at a Black college, here are 3 very current reasons why you can. And so I thought that was really impressive. One thing I remember from being a student at Hampton was they really, I mean, it's like everyday Black excellence, like Black excellence, Black excellence, Black excellence from some of the best Black professors and, you know, students, your classmates. And it's just like such a, almost an out-of-body experience. I remember one of the first things when you're a freshman and you go for like freshman week or whatever they call it. It's only been a few years since I've been to college, but I can't remember everything. But there was this like week that we had to do, freshman week, orientation week. And we would go to Ogden Hall, and you learn like to be on time is to be late. And clearly that didn't resonate with me as I even got here late today. But the point is, like, it just teaches you, like, these are the tools you need to really stand out and to excel and to just really push that whole Black excellence envelope. And I think Black colleges do a great job at that. And with my 2 daughters, I would definitely encourage them and take them early to see Black colleges and walk around Black campuses. You know, I think that it's nice to not just be a number in college. I hope my daughters go somewhere with smaller campuses where they're not one of 40,000 kids. I hope they go somewhere where it's like 10,000 kids or something, you know, and I'm thinking of a Black college with that. I also went to a Black college for law school, Texas Southern in Houston is a Black school. And so that was my next experience. And it was the same experience. Just really, you know, it's like, okay, we're going to produce all these Black lawyers. We want you to be out there and be prepared and armed with everything you need to be successful. And that's not just what's in the books. You know, there's more to it than that. And I think that's what Black colleges really do a good job at, is filling in the gap, you know, or standing in the gap of like, okay, this is what you need to be successful in the world as a, you know, highly employed person, but here's what you need to know, a little extra. And it also gives you like that confidence that, you know, of just kind of being able to spend your college years among people who look like you on all ends of the spectrum, but you know, to just kind of grow and just meet so many people and just really thrive in that environment.
I was watching a Breakfast Club interview, and Killer Mike and DJ Envy had got into a little tiff, and it was discussing like not even like Black college, but just even like your formative years of education, how important it is to be around people that look like you. You know, like I've always been like bussed out to school, so I'm always, you know, one of very few like